From white ball cricket, we are back to cricket in white, Sarun. Test cricket starting soon. That's our favorite format. So let's talk here at Time Out with Sports Adda. Well, Arun, we've been looking forward to a test series for a while, and India versus England, two top teams in English conditions. This is something we've been looking forward to for a while.
There's always some excitement about red ball cricket, isn't it? Particularly in countries like England and Australia. I don't know what it is, but you always look forward to cricket in England, and I can't wait for that series to start.
Okay, so I mean, traditionally, England have been very, very difficult to beat. They've had a lot of things going on in English cricket. The hundred is going on a different format. They've been playing cricket through bubbles for. So there's a lot of talk going on. There is already talk going about what the Ashes and all. But India going there financially is so important for the English Cricket Board. So these five test series, which are starting on 4th, it's going to be like a crucial one. So should we look at the schedule, Arun? What do you make of the schedule?
It's interesting, okay? I mean, I look at the schedule. We start off at Trent Bridge, Nottingham. Now that's one of the
Hmm.
venues where India have traditionally done well. Then we move on to Lords, where again India's had success, but maybe not in the last couple of tours.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, for me, the standout thing though is we start in August, which means we kind of passed that early English summer. So
Yeah.
conditions should be okay. Should not be that testing as far as slip catching or fast bowling is concerned. But I like the schedule.
Yeah.
The last couple of test matches, Oval and Manchester, Old Trafford, I like that as well. So exciting schedule for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing that India is starting them at Nottingham. I think that's the venue that we've always favored. Uh, I was surprised. Usually, Oval is the one where we play the last Test match. If you remember, that's
Hmm.
where the Ashes is
Hmm.
also. They always play the last Test match. We played the last Test match at Oval in 2002, and the last time when we went there. So that's one change there. But yeah, you're talking about Nottingham, and before we head to Nottingham and see how we performed there. Do we look at the Indian squad? What do you make of it? Lots of changes again. Very gutted for Mayank not being there. I was really hoping he gets a game. He's not played for a while.
When we put up this, when we compiled this yesterday, Akhil, we had
Hmm.
Mayank Agarwal's name at number two. We thought he'd open with Rohit Sharma, but just
Correct.
that blow on the nets yesterday, and we've had to kind of reshuffle this entire lineup. Uh, we've slotted in KL Rahul there.
Hmm.
We don't know if that's going to happen. People are talking about Hanuma Vihari possibly getting there. I'm not so sure. I'd still go in with KL, who's a pedigree batsman. He
Yeah.
may not have the numbers right now in red ball cricket, but he's done the job in red ball cricket around
Yeah.
the world. He's got runs in Australia, has got runs there. So for me, KL Rahul should open. We don't know if that will happen. We'll look at it. Uh, the rest of the lineup, I think, selects itself, does it?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely selects itself. And you're right about KL Rahul. He's obviously he's an experienced batsman. He's been with the team for a long time. He's seen the conditions, faced Anderson Broad previously. So irrespective of his record, he should start. It will be too much to expect a debutant to just go in
No,
and start
no,
opening the innings against Anderson and Broad in overseas conditions. So
yeah.
I think KL Rahul will open tomorrow. Uh, what do you
Couple of
make?
numbers,
Yeah,
Akhil, I want to throw at you. I was just
sure.
looking at some numbers this morning. Astonishing that, I'm looking at most runs by Indian batsmen in the current test squad in England, right?
Hmm.
Virat Kohli is 784, averaging 36.
Hmm.
Ajinkya Rahane 620 in 11 test matches, averaging 30. Cheteshwar Pujara 10 matches, 523 runs, averaging 28. And number 4 is Ravindra Jadeja, 6 matches, 307 runs. So it doesn't give you a lot of confidence. As much as India might be the superpower, the
Hmm.
numbers don't back up, all the riches that the batsmen get.
Well, I mean, I have done a lot of research digging into this, Arun. And I mean, I had asked you for a specific number offline also, if you remember, about the batting averages in England after 2012, 2013, when last South Africa won there. And you'll be surprised to know the batting averages, not just for the Indians, but for everyone, are just hovering in the similar range. It's not like somebody has managed to really have lots of scores in England, except for two batsmen when Steve Smith had that memorable huge Ashes
Ashes.
comeback, and Virat
Yeah.
Kohli in the previous series when he aggregated more than 500 runs, got those hundreds there. So these two batsmen have managed to conquer the conditions. I mean, I think we'll have to move away from the place where Arun, where people used to get a lot of big 300s in England. I think Hashim Amla was the last batsman to get a 300 there. So it's not going to be easy. The conditions they're going to have, England have to win this match, right? There is no two ways about it. Their part to World Test Championship is starting with this series, so they have to try and win this.
Good you brought it up. The other reason to be excited is the second cycle of the World Test Championship. India got to the final, we lost the final, but this is the start of the second cycle of that particular tournament, the World Test Championship. Uh, Interesting to look at what India has got slotted in that World Test Championship. Five tests obviously in England away, but then we've also got Bangladesh and South Africa. Now I don't think either of those two sides will test India.
Yeah,
Same with test matches at home. Look at the India's test matches. Sri Lanka, don't even consider them right now. New Zealand, I don't know. Last time they played, they lost 3-0 in India, I think. Uh, Australia may test India. I'm not so sure. But again,
yeah.
at the moment, looking at these six sides, I think India will have a dream run to the final again.
We will have a dream run. I mean, frankly, you know what now, Virat Kohli as a captain or Ravi Shastri as a coach, whoever comes in as a coach, maybe after Ravi, Arun, they are going to want to leave a legacy of Test cricket. They want to leave an imprint where they go and win overseas. That's the kind of mentality that Virat Kohli seems to have. So for him, winning in England, winning in South Africa is going to be absolutely important. I think it's just a perfect pathway for him to show that he can win overseas. He can be a leader who can be talked about across ages, not just winning in India.
I'll quickly jump on two things you mentioned there. One is, are you hinting that this could be Ravi Shastri's last stretch as coach? A, I don't know. B, I like the fact that India are winning test matches overseas. In South Africa, we won. In England, we won a series in Australia, yes. But the time has come to win a series consistently. We win a series in New Zealand, win a series in South Africa, win a series in England. That's what we want. To establish yourself as a cricketing red ball superpower, win a
Yeah,
test series overseas.
absolutely agree. And we will talk more about that going forward. But should we have a look at the England squad also, Arun? They've also gone through a lot of changes. They've also had a lot of shuffling to be made. Okay, so we are going to have a look at England's engagement in World Test Championship. So tough one in India, South Africa, New Zealand coming home. All three
Hmm.
sides have good pace attacks, and away Pakistan, Australia again. That's the big one for them, the Ashes, and West Indies where they've lost the previous time that they've gone. So tougher task seems to be for England, isn't it?
Well, look at the away column, Akhil. Australia, five test ashes. Then there's West Indies, like you mentioned. West Indies aren't a bad side.
Yeah,
Pakistan and UAE again could be challenging.
tough.
So when you compare what India's got, when you compare what England's got, England must be saying the coin hasn't gone our way. The rub of the green hasn't gone our way for sure. This series
Absolutely
against
hasn't.
India is going to be difficult. I mean, I don't know at the moment. Before you even ask, I'm going to say it's 50-50. Right now it's 50-50. We'll probably learn about which way the series is heading in the next couple of days. But before the start, I'm saying it's pretty much 50-50.
Agreed, agreed. What do you make of the England lineup though? So they've recently played a test series against New Zealand, and then they've had a break. They've gone into play a different format than what the entire world is playing. They've gone back to their counties and tried to get some red ball cricket going for them. What do you make of the England squad? And big blow for them also that we have to talk about. We can't ignore that. But your makeup of the England team, what do you think will be the 11?
I have put together 11. I don't know if that's going to be what England will field. Uh, Let me just. The openers are suspect. Akhil, it's been the case for a while now. Rory Burns and Dom Sibley have
They
been doing the
added
job, but
Hasib.
Hasib Hamid is there, yes, but I don't think he's getting a chance anytime in the first couple of days.
Okay.
Burns and Sibley at the top. Then you've got a pack of middle order batsmen. Now I don't know how England are going to. There's quality there. Uh, Whether that quality is good enough for Test match cricket, can they get runs consistently? That's the question. There's Crawley, who's rated highly. There's Johnny Bairstow, and I've spoken to a lot of former English players and commentators who rate him very highly. So if you look
Yeah.
at the lineup I have picked, Johnny Bairstow comes in at number 3. So he's there. There's Ollie Pope. Again,
Who's injured?
reminds us of Ian Bell. I
Yeah.
don't know how they're going to who they're going to pick, and if the players if they pick, are they going to convert the talent into runs in Test match cricket? That's the question mark for me. Uh, Short on batting. Joe Root's one name I'm looking forward to, but otherwise, I think England is short on batting.
And big blow to them where one of the players who are irreplaceable in Test cricket has had to move out of the squad. It's a huge blow for not just England cricket, Arun, but you and me are big fans of Ben Stokes. I mean, what he's achieved for them over the last 2 3 years, and especially since like his numbers are just staggering. I mean, batting average of 37 to go with 163 Test wickets. These are numbers of a pedigree player. He can't you can't replace a Ben Stokes, can you?
Absolutely. This is like a once in a generation cricketer. How many such players can you recall,
None.
Akhil? You talk about Gary Sober at one point in time, then you talk about Jack
Callis.
Callis again. Like I said, once in a generation cricketer, and then Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes is a player who wants to be in the thick of things. He makes things happen. Be it IPL. I mean, admittedly, his IPL, he's had different kinds of seasons, but the season he succeeded, he wanted to be in the thick of things and he made things happen. Same with Test cricket. He will make things happen. Uh, huge blow to England. Uh, and quality, like you said, quality with the bat, quality with the other player we've not spoken about is Jofra Archer. Uh, Another player who could have troubled India. But anyway, England have got options there with so many other pacers. So that's not such a blow, but Stokes is a huge blow.
Stokes is a blow. I'm also going to be talking about another all-rounder that they've not picked, which is Moeen Ali. He's been a thorn in our flesh for the last two Test tours, if you remember. Not just batting wise, but he's bowled so beautifully as their lead spinner in the last two Test series. So I'm a little surprised he's not picked. But the question I'm going to pose to you now: who's going to bat at number 6 now? Joss Butler bats at 6, Sam Curran at 7. Because Stokes is not there, their fifth bowler suddenly diminishes, isn't it? A guy who could take 15, 20 overs, allow Anderson and Broad to relax, come back come back for a spell very fresh. So Stokes not being there now, who bats at number 6 and 7 for them?
Like you mentioned, Butler and Sam Curran, and then they go with pacers. They've got plenty of pacers there. I think they'll go with Jack Leach as a spinner, and they'll go with Mark Wood as their workhorse. Mark Wood's the kind of guy who'll run in every over. He'll give you 15, 18 overs in a day. So I think Mark Wood will fill in that role.
Mark
Will be
Wood,
the
and then
extra bowler in the
obviously
lineup.
absolutely. So that is a good lineup in those conditions. We spoke briefly about Cambridge and how it's been helpful for Indian teams in the past. Two memorable victories have come at Trent haven't they? We've managed to win there. The conditions have been a little nice to us. Apart from the win, also if you remember 2002, where the fight back in the series started, Arun. That's where we
Hmm.
actually drew at Trent Bridge, where Sachin Ganguly got 90s, Dravid got 100. So it's been a good ground, and you can see that in the stats here, where two of our big wins in England have come at Trent Bridge. They've also come at huge margins, if you see,
I
around
think
203 runs and
2004.
7 wickets.
Yeah. 2014 as well, or 2007. I don't remember when was the time we drew there. We drew a test match in Trent Bridge as well. So yeah, I mean, good venue for India. But here's what to expect, Akhil. It won't be a high scoring, and that's what I love about that venue. Trent Bridge will never be a 500 plays, 400, and then scores go down. It's going to be a 300, 350. and then it'll be competitive, which I'm really, really excited about the start of this test.
Absolutely, it's the magic, and like what from whatever conversations I've had about with the batsmen who played now or who are playing now in the team, Arun, I've always asked them, how do you bat in England? How do you prepare there? And they say it's a lovely place to bat. The only thing is that the conditions change very quickly. And Trent Bridge, I
Hmm.
wanted to bring to your attention last time, if you remember, the conditions where in India bowled changed drastically. And do you remember the bowler who got a fifer in that test match? It was Hardik who got his first fifer, if you remember. So the conditions are so important. We lost the tosses also last time, if you remember. So if we get on to a toss, bat first, this could be a very, very nice, another memorable occasion for India.
The conditions you mentioned, Akhil, you're absolutely right. I remember the last tour when India were batting, it was cloudy, overcast, the ball was swinging. And then
And
when India
Lords
were
too.
bowling, it just opened up all of a sudden, and England had the best conditions to bat. So the conditions are going to be extremely crucial in this series as well. And like you mentioned, the coin toss needs to go India's way. Virat Kohli needs to do something about it.
I had one point, Arun. The wins that we saw, the last two wins that most of the current squad was a part of 2014 and 2018, both of them had
Hmm.
come when the series was alive, which was an
Hmm.
encouraging part. In fact, the Lord's victory where we were leading up in the series at Trent Bridge,
Hmm.
we came back from 2-0 down, and the
Hmm.
guy who scored runs in both of them was Ajinkya Rahane. So Lords, he got 100. Last time he got a 81 there. So just hoping also Ajinkya can score runs at that crucial time, because when he scores runs overseas, looks like Indian teams do well.
Ajinkya is an impact player. When he contributes, like you mentioned, India go on to do well. The question is, can Ajinkya keep scoring runs, consistently through the series? A lot of the focus is been on Virat Kohli,
Yeah,
but Ajinkya needs to start challenging Virat Kohli. Some people might not like it. Let's be honest. Some people might not like Ajinkya Rahane nudging Virat Kohli. But if India end up doing well, they've got to get Ajinkya Rahane to score runs.
absolutely. Also, this is going to be a big contest between the captains, isn't it? Both the captains of their teams are also there. The batsman who batted number four, they've been the leading batsmen for both their teams. They go against each other as one of the top four that they call, if I may say, Babar Azam, top five batsmen in the world. So Joe Root versus Virat Kohli captaincy is going to be also crucial. We saw Virat winning the battle in the last series. Now it's time for Joe Root, maybe.
Joe Root's on the cusp of history. He's one test win away from becoming England's most successful test captain. So that will be there at the back of his mind. But you're right. Joe Root's been a thorn in India's flesh, particularly in series openers. You remember what he did in Chennai in the first test again,
Double
right? So
hundreds, yeah.
he's been a thorn in India's flesh. So in this particular England lineup, there's no better player than Joe Root, admittedly. If he's got his head in the right place, right, he will get runs. Virat Kohli needs to do that as well. Virat Kohli needs to get runs. So it's going to be a fascinating battle between the two captains, how they match up in terms of runs. Captaincy wise, both are good. We've seen that. But just in terms of the batting, uh, Joe Root's had a bit of a dip in form in the last 2 years. But since the Sri Lanka tour, I think, or since last year, his graph's kind
Phenomenal.
of coming up again. Yeah. So if Joe Root can stay there and keep climbing, it'll be interesting to see how Virat reacts under pressure. You cannot have one captain scoring run and Virat Kohli not scoring run. So that's going to be a fascinating battle.
Okay, speaking of battles, before we wrap up the show, there is one battle that we cannot avoid speaking about, and this might be the last time that we probably see this battle also, where 38, 39-year-old Jimmy Anderson will be gunning to go after the opposition's best batsman once again, isn't it? It's been a
Hmm.
contest for the ages. 2014, one guy dominated. 2018, the other guy came back very strongly. And I mean, it's a battle that is worthy of the top echelons of Test cricket.
For cricket purists, there's no better contest than this, is there? I mean, we speak about England v India, but here it is: Anderson v Virat Kohli. Look at what happened in 2014. 50 runs,
Wow.
4 dismissals, just 19 runs scored. And then Virat Kohli changed something in his batting stance, in his whatever. We will not get into technicalities, but look at that. Not a single dismissal, 270 balls, Akhil, in that 2018 series. That's the kind of
Amazing.
batting we want. That's the kind of batsmanship we want to see in this series as well. So that's one contest. When we're talking about, India v England, we're talking about Anderson v Kohli, we're talking about Kohli v Joe Root. There's another contest that we should talk about, right? Which is Ajinkya Rahane v Stuart Broad. We don't talk about that
Yeah.
contest.
We spoke
Let
about
me
that
just
when
read out.
England were here.
Yeah, let me just read out a few numbers. 2014 series and 2018 series. Stuart Broad's got Ajinkya Rahane 5 times in about 260 deliveries. Not too many runs scored, 80 runs scored. But that's going to be another contest that will have a huge impact on the series. There are so many such small head-to-heads, isn't it?
So many small.
Rishabh Pant with Josh Butler, another exciting contest.
Oh, that is a big one. That is a big one. Not many have spoken about, but these are probably two of the most explosive wicketkeeper batsmen in world cricket currently. And add De Kock to that, and you have like a superb trio. But these two going against each other, both are capable of winning you games. For me, Arun, the impact is going to come where how Indian fast bowlers bowl to the English tailenders. I
Hmm.
personally think the battle that India has lost in 2018 in England, in 2020-21 in New Zealand, even the World Test Championship has been our inability to bowl out the tailenders very quickly.
Hmm.
And Moeen Ali is not there. Chris Wokes is missing, but Sam Curran is
Sam
you
Curran,
can't
you still remember that last series on
absolutely
debut,
remember that.
wasn't it? Debut
On
series,
debut,
wasn't
what
it?
a performance! He got those crucial runs. It was Kylie Jamieson in New Zealand, if you remember. So I just hope the Indian pacers have enough. They have enough stamina. Just four bowlers playing, they have stamina to bowl the tailenders out very quickly. The moment Hardik got that spell in Trent Bridge, Nottingham last time, England got bowled out early, and that's the reason we won the match. The rest of the Test matches we struggle to get the tail out. So that is the one aspect that I'm hoping we get right.
Hmm. Very, very crucial. Absolutely spot on. If India can polish the tail, and the tail's actually been a thorn in our cricket for a while now. It's not just the last 2 years or 3 years, but it's been a thorn in our flesh for a while. India
All
need
right,
to get that
fantastic.
right.
Fantastic. So fantastic battle coming up. We are all gunning to look forward to it. I am. It's too early to call for a prediction, Arun. So just pick your favorites.
Sitting on the fence, but I think India slightly ahead, if anything.
India
I
for
I
me
might
also. I
I
think
might
it's
revise this again. I might revise this on the basis of what we see tomorrow on day one. But if somebody were to nudge me today, I'd say India marginally ahead.
India for me also. I think they just want to prove that they can win in England, and I don't think there'll be a better opportunity than this now. So without putting too much pressure on them, yes, India for me also. And we'll be back here at Time Out with Sports Adda to talk more about the series and about the cricket.